Thanks for staying with us. So we saw a story, or more like a question on social media, and it caught our attention, and we decided to jump on it. And this person says, I can never understand the rationale behind struggling to gather 20 million just to travel to another man's land to start hustling from scratch. What kind of brain do you all have? So it's a question, and I want to believe it's a rhetorical question, but we can try to, understand where he is coming from. I've had a few people who I know who were doing relatively well here. So when I mean doing well here, it means that they have a roof over their head, they are able to pay their rent, they are not begging money to pay their rent, they have good jobs, both husband and wife were working, they were able to put their children in a relatively good school, the basics. And they had 2 cars, one for the wife, one for the woman, and all of a sudden we heard the story that they have Japa. And so I started having a conversation with the person. I said, what happened? How
did you amount?
How did you decide to leave your so-called, or what would I say now, maybe your comfort somehow, to go and start working? And how did I start asking that question? Because a few years before they finally settled there, they were now in like a fix. They needed some form of funds. They needed to be able to settle in. The jobs that they thought they were going to get immediately wasn't forthcoming. And so they were now calling family members, help me with this, help me with that, and all of that. And I said, but you had a good job here. But till today, they could not explain why they decided to take that route. And I'm asking, is it that the life we have here is not enough? Or is it something else that usually pushes people to say, okay, I have a good life here, but I can have a better one out there? Let's start with the ladies. Dami, are you ready to go?
I think, like you said, that was where I was going to come from, that a good life here does not amount to a better life in general. I would say that for what we have read on the books and how far some of us have traveled, we've seen that there is a way of life, there is a template that if you work over there, you will eat. That's man way work, go chop. Okay. Here, you don't have to even work. If you can beg, you will feed, and you pay your bills, which makes you somewhat of a leech living on other people. But like you see abroad, it's not like that, because you have to work. You have to get up to do your daily job, which will produce that daily money. And some form of sanity. There are times that, okay, at this time, kidnapping rates, insurgency is on the rise. It's not as if it doesn't happen in other climes in other countries, but it's a reduced rate. And from what we see, their government is probably very spontaneous to reactions, to responding to, even if your chicken lost, as in you are looking for your hen or your cat, you have a place to complain to, that you are going to feel included. Not the one that probably you take a case to the police station here, and sometimes you get negativity from even the police officers that are supposed to encourage you. So sometimes, but for me, I do not think it is something I want to put like 20 million together, 30 million together, and go and start afresh. Because before you even get your feet, it will take you about a year to 2 years. Yes. It takes a while, except you are mentally ready for that 2 years and whatever comes from it. Like the person you mentioned that started calling family, they were not prepared adequately. Because you would have saved ahead of in case incasity, like we call it. In case I don't get this job, in case things happen. Peradventure, what if? Is that what if that makes you rethink and rethink and rethink? But yes, quality life. I'm not against quality life. People seeking greener pasture of the fact that they want a better life for them. And a lot of people who have traveled that I've had the opportunity to also speak with, it's for their children. They're not even thinking about themselves now. They're thinking about their children, their welfare, health, insurance, schooling, and all of that. And we know what schools we pay these days. Even yet, when we don't get that adequate, how do I put it now? When we don't get value for our money in schools, you just hear the big names and the big money, and you're just like, okay, societal symbol, maybe this school would live up to this expectation. So there are some areas that people need to also critically think about. Nigeria is not totally bad. If you are having to meet up with your bills and you're performing your duties or responsibilities, but I'm not also against the fact that you want to go for a better life, but know what you are doing. If you have brain in your head, please use it most times, so it will help us.
Thank you so much. Yes, who else is ready?
Okay, so there are many issues that might inform the person in migrating, but here it's usually, for some people, about class. About, just living abroad and raising kids abroad. So I have people who have gotten abroad and I say, in this school, they're teaching LGBTQ, that this and this, that, and I'll be like, the decision to travel, how did you make it? How did you arrive at it? You uprooted everybody and relocated, and then you're afraid at how you have landed, which school you are going, and they're coming to your house and teaching your kids. There was one that shared a very heartbreaking story for me. So she is Christian and taught her child the Christian value of no to LGBTQ, and the child stood up in class and said, "I'm Christian and no to LGBTQ." And the teacher reported that she's been indoctrinated at home. I'm like, in her home, value that is taught in the home is indoctrination.
From my race.
Yes. That is, and the people, their business, their departments in charge of such things, paid a visit to come and see why she's been indoctrinated at home. He almost turned young pepper scatter because an attempt was made to take the child. Whoa. Mom was compelled to teach the child new values. Yes. So if you want to travel at all, think for one now, there's no traveling. There's no relocation because the values are strong. Yeah. I don't want to even risk having to explain to my child that there's a new value, but to pretend, you have to say. For somebody to compare my child to say there's LGBTQ, we will sit down and have a talk. We'll be talking.
Against my will.
So I will stay in a place that I'm allowed to have that talk that, madam, please don't indoctrinate my child, no matter what the system is. But the system there is skewed towards supporting. If you are not supporting, you are the indoctrinator. You are the this, you are the extremist, you are the all of that.
Everything is turned upside down.
It's upside down. Yeah. And such a risk is too big for me to take. So I don't know what we are thinking when we want to move. But according to this tweet now, this person would mop up all they have. And that's a very common thing we see today. Yeah. They will mop up all they have.
Even run into debt.
I know borrowed. And now he's trying to
pay back.
No, he's trying to dodge payment.
Some even try to pay back.
He's still there.
Yes, now. So where he borrowed from, he used unknown to them, somebody else to start.
Guarantor.
And so that person now, they are calling, say, I don't know about it. How far? Don't they carry it? Go where I don't know. How far? He's now blocking numbers as if the person forced him to use, And so that one is in a dilemma, and friends are now gathering and saying, but you two, you are the ones encouraging. If you blow now, go deny him. But you have put somebody in an uncomfortable place and all of that. Why would you do such a thing? Because the amount in question, if you took it as a loan and did a business, you say it will not work here. Because some people have this defeatist mentality of this place. Yeah. They believe that if they plant beans in their house, as easy as it is for beans to sprout up, it will not sprout, it will not grow. In fact, it will die. The sand there is, I don't believe it's like that. I think it's a mindset thing. Yeah. And there are those who just want to have the abroad experience. The ones who would rather stay in the parking lot or the garage of a house or somebody else's house, but take pictures at the front of the house and say, this is
their house.
Society.
Different, yes.
So I feel that a lot of people who do it without having proper education and enlightenment about what the costs, what the risks are. A lot of people just believe the stories where you sit in your home, you watch your movies, Hollywood movies, and just assume that is what life is there. You hear people say, if you travel abroad, you make it. And that is the only information that they have about traveling abroad. And they base their life decision on those, what would I say, incomplete information, and then you go there and you find, that you're struggling. There are a group of Nigerians who feel that when they go abroad, they will gain stupendous wealth. So if I'm a millionaire here, that means I can easily be a billionaire there. But I love the way that you explained it. Abroad, especially when you're talking about America and UK, it's about, what you put in, you will get out. It's only about merit. If you work 3 jobs, you will get the result of 3 jobs. If you work only 1 job, you get the result for only 1 job. People who are making a lot of money, they also work really hard. If the very rich at the top, for them to have gotten there, they must have done a lot of work getting there. Here in Nigeria, you can run for office.
Calling sick.
Yes, and before you know it, you are making a lot of money. You can know someone in business who knows someone in politics who can make a way for you, and all of a sudden you've become rich. And that also has become our culture. And then you find you take that way of life and living and go over there and you're wondering where you are. You know, you now realize that there are no colleagues to call, there's nobody, no politician to call, no free lunch
even
there.
in free time.
And it's, you know, and that will become a problem. But then we also have a category of people who are well-traveled, quite exposed, and they've decided, you know, I've compared both. And the money that I have, I hear people say that no matter how much money you have in Nigeria, it's still the same roads we have to ply. It's still the same electricity problem. It's still the same hospitals I will go where the infrastructure is not there, the doctors are not there, you know, things. So I'm tired of living like that. I'd rather go and live as a regular person in a decent society where things work. But the thing that is important is that you understand what you're going. You understand the cost. So this person knows that, yes, I may be a big man here where gates are open for me as I'm driving, but when I go there, I will jump on buses, I'll hop on trains, you know, and there's no regrets. It's when you go and you're wondering, I was a celebrity here. How come I'm the one driving a cab? You know, and then that comes that dissatisfaction and bitterness. Reality. So you need to have proper information. It is not automatically, I'm going to make it. The people that, you know, make it here in Nigeria and can make it anywhere, I think that maybe our people in entertainment, in sports, you're already a big name here. So you're already a big name in the world, you know. If you're in sports, football can carry from one country to the other. So that reflects. But if you're just a regular person working hard, it doesn't always reflect. Yes, for those who also move for, you know, lifestyle, it's also education of children. I think you mentioned that. You know, many people feel that there's an exposure, a kind of education you can get abroad that you don't get here. Although I beg to differ, I just feel that there are two different types of education. I understand that there are some things that don't quite work in our country, but there are some that work. And if you have the money, if you have the kind of money that you can travel, you have the sort of money that you can give your children that sort of, at least I'm talking of, you know, that primary, secondary school level.
Foundation.
Of course, at university, you know, you can decide wherever.
The child is grown.
Good. So the child is grown and you can make those decisions. So just make sure that you have the right information before you make a lifelong
informed decisions. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this Japa conversation, and you know, with the few conversations I've had with some people who finally left, people that I know that were doing okay by my own calculations and standards. One of the things I heard is the fact that in Nigeria here, they work for their basic amenities. They work for the basics of life, the smallest things they will have to struggle hard for. But when they go abroad, they are working for guaranteed comfort. There's sanity of life abroad, and there's certainty, like what you said in the beginning, that what you put in is what you get out. And that is why they decide to leave, because they are constantly asking themselves, how long would I keep working for something I'm not seeing? How long do I keep paying for taxes and I'm not seeing the good roads, I'm not seeing the good hospitals? I do not have the insurance for Medicare. You say when they go abroad, their children's fees from primary to secondary is free. Medicare is free. They have people who have suffered from cancer and those very, you know, horrible diseases that have access to Medicare free. And, you know, you don't get that here. And when they look at all those calculations, they're like, it's better I'm not even known. And I'm able to have that quality, standard life with my family. It is.
We talk now.
But it's free, Onima.
No, it's not free now.
Absolutely.
There's a percentage of whatever you earn that goes into it for you to qualify, and it's not open blanket.
Yeah, but you're seeing
See, let me tell you, I don't want to put tribe before, but I've learned from a particular tribe to be sensible wherever you are. In this Lagos, these people point out, in fact, the foreigners, Indians and Lebanese, they will tell you everything that is free. And we Nigerians don't know.
Oh, wow.
When it comes to skill acquisition, to all these tech skills, they know the free things that government is backing. In this Lagos, for instance, primary school is free. Secondary school is free, they pay for their WAEC. But Nigerians do not trust the public school system, so we pay for private. Which is also the same abroad, in the UK.
And
you will pay through your ears and nose. But you go to the public, we will now say the standard is compared to the standard. Even the private school here, the standard, we will say that here. Because we have a problem believing in the standard. Is it really free? Let's even look at the recent one now, because Nigerians do everything to go. You amass all you have. You give a government, then they bring a policy today. They are constantly on their toes, constantly checking their side. You cannot bring your dependents again. I cannot be working in any place, and my kids can't live with me. You know, it means that for a second class citizen better pass you. Your freedom, that's freedom alone is so costly for the kind of things you're exchanging, that you cannot wake up and decide, I want to sleep with my husband by my husband's size today because somebody has to do a C of something. You know, there's several categories that guarantees that. So what you earn, really, if you put it down and share the cost and come, is it really free? Is it really free? We are rushing there. They rated the UK the highest unhappy place in the world recently because of these numerous policies. They sit down every day. Tomorrow they start. They will say, okay, they are opening this for this and that. Tomorrow they say you come too much.
Go back and come back.
They say you come too much. They say no, they don't want this. They say now if you come for your postgraduate degree, which is, you know, very expensive, you stay long. As soon as you finish, they put a new policy that you cannot continue to stay. So you are there, as you are doing the study, you are looking at the one that will take you to Canada. At least that one is the option.
Yeah, just opposing.
Not that Japa.
Instability. Is it really free? Make we do the maths. Is it really free? Because they okay, like big bear.
Don't you tell her? And I think another thing. Oh, sorry.
I want to interpret.
Dry muscle without soap is better than
peace of mind.
with peace of mind. It's better than when you have fried rice and chicken with problems. Another thing I want to talk about is discrimination and racism.
Yes.
Because people don't plan for it. I saw a comment that said you are intentionally going to be made inferior. Now let's go back to when we were even children.
So I can hear you well. We have a caller, Caroline from Magboro. Good morning, Caroline.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
So, the reason why I'm calling is because of this Japa thing. The thing is, the reason why majority are leaving the country is because they are going to restrict their work. Honestly, I've not been abroad, but I know that it's a place where you get to and you don't need to pay your way for admission. It's a place where you don't need, if you work, you would pay. Nigeria, we work like we support for the basic things, food, road, water, light, and all. So anybody that wants to Japa, fine, they could let them. But the fact that Nigeria is not.
It wasn't clear.
So that means agreed with me and said that she believes that, although she has not gone, but she believes that over there you don't have to walk your way to basics. It's a place where you can live and, you know.
Well, you will walk.
Okay, so like what I was emphasizing on, let's look at even when we started growing up as children, the toys that we obviously played with were made in white. They made everything black seem inferior. Even them to themselves, you begin to have, oh, this is from this race or this is from that race. Here, there's a way you look at me and I'll tell you that I'm a bona fide indigenous of Nigeria. Excuse me. You cannot strain your eyes on me or me. We will either strain our eyes and look at each other. But over there, I'm being conscious. Who is going to report me? Who am I offending, consciously or unconsciously?
Is the life truly free?
Do you understand? Here, your neighbor's music can be very loud and you'll be vibing in your house. There, you get a police call. And at the end of the day, things are not going well the way you think. It makes a lot of people run into depression. My sister moved recently last year, and she said, okay, education, she was tired of here. Though, in quotes, we've always called that mom in Canada when we were growing up. She had always had this notion of, I don't want to live here. Oh, wow. So she went to the UK and she's saying Canada is the main goal. That this UK, and about 3 weeks into her relocation, she started complaining, damn, I'm depressed. Wow. This place, no catfish pepper soup, no this, I can't even go out. It makes you understand that there's freedom and liberty here. But for some people that are perpetually lazy, I know how many things I do. I'm an MC, I'm an alaga iduro, I'm a business developer. Weekend now, I don't go dance for one state.
Like 4 jobs.
Do you understand? I'm doing like 4 or 5 jobs. I have a small business that I'm doing buying and selling. If you really are that kind of person that you want to work for your money here, yes, fine, no, things happen, no. Let Nigeria not happen to us. But it happens everywhere. It rains everywhere. So calculate your risk. I think people don't calculate their risk properly.
So thank you, Damilola. Let's take another caller. Lucky from Abuja. Good morning, Lucky.
Yeah, good morning, my people. How are you? Good morning, first time caller.
Welcome.
Oh, first timers today.
Doing great.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I want to tell you that you are doing well.
Thank you.
Sir.
And what the topic you are saying is, I used to enjoy that black girl, the lady sitting from Moranyo. You always said,
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
yes, and the
we appreciate.
Oh, we lost
we
the call.
appreciate.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Miriam, waiting for you. Oh, okay. So now some persons have said that it's not free, like we just said now. You have to pay tax, pay as much as 40, sometimes 50% of tax. So you're going to have to work twice as hard. So one of the things that discouraged me then, when we were starting our life and everybody was looking, what do we do? I've never had the notion of going abroad, except for when a little opportunity came for modeling, which I missed. I didn't go, because I follow man. I didn't want to leave the man, so I didn't go for that one. But I've never really had the mindset of relocating or wanting to be there as the only way I'm going to be successful in life, right? But, from time to time, family members who would go, conversations will come up. And the question I usually ask them is, have you found out how people there work? Because I know that here, you can get away with a lot of things. We get away with a lot of things here.
Many.
I had friends who were in the teaching industry with me at the time I was a classroom teacher that finally left. And when they call, the kind of things they tell us, it was scary. He said, if you are teaching for 4 hours, you'll be on your toes for 4 hours. It's not here that you people are catching breaks up and down. You sit down, enter another person's class.
Sometimes selling puff-puff in class.
Sell some things in class and all of that. He said, if you're working for 4 hours, you will work for 4 hours. If you have a break for 1 hour, you miss any time of that break. That is it. And before I knew it, some were complaining of leg pain. They will have to stand all through. They have very unruly children. Here, you can pinch small now. They say don't beat, but you can pinch small. There, you dare not.
Even the eyes looking.
You dare not even raise your voice. So she saw a new reality and she was like, I wish I didn't go. But somehow she found her way and she adjusted. And from that time, I knew that going there, some of the things that we get away with, mediocrity is one of the things we get away with here. Yeah. Because I know somebody knows somebody, they'll just fix you there. There. If you're not excellent at what you do, forget it. They will kick you out. If you're not ready to hustle, like you said, they will kick you out. In fact, the cold in your room will kick you out because if you're not able to pay the bills, nobody will beg you to work.
That's it.
On your own, you're just working. And okay, let's take this call before we continue. We have a caller from Ikeja. Good morning.
Good morning.
Omaumi, good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, today's first
time.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to contribute to the topic you guys are discussing today. You see, there's no country sweet like Nigeria, honestly.
My sister, I know.
But this country, if not because of money, a lot of people won't be Japa in, honestly. Like me, if I should Japa, once I clock 50 like this, I'm coming back. Because there is nowhere like home. There is no freedom like Nigeria.
Omaumi, can I ask you a question? Do you know that is people who have money that Japa, not the poor ones cannot afford to buy tickets now and pay for visas?
No, me, if I'm very, very wealthy, I can never travel. If I want to travel, it's just for vacation.
Can you explain your level of wealth? How much would you have in your bank account?
That would be very wealthy.
That would be very wealthy for you.
Like $1 million. No. Okay, come again with your question.
How much would you have in your bank account that tells you are very wealthy enough for you to stay here?
If I have billions, I'll just be going there for vacation.
What do you do now? Let me tell you small. What do you do? What do you do?
I sell hair. I'm a businesswoman.
You can make that money now.
That industry is thriving.
I don't have, no, I don't really have money. I'm still striving, my sister. Because me too, I have it in mind to Japa.
Oh, wow.
I just want to Japa to go and hustle.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, to go and hustle. But staying there forever, my sister, I can't do. But if God really blessed me here, I can never go there to go and slave myself. Because going there is slavery.
God will bless you here. Just believe.
Yeah.
Just believe.
I also think that